pulling our pot. To pull, we're going to take this wall of clay that's down here, which is about this thick right now, and we're going to pull it up to make this into a cylinder. And again, every project's going to start the same way, so continue to follow these steps regardless of what you're making. Now, if you want your pot to be wider, you're going to push with your inside hand a little bit. If you want it to be thinner, you're going to push with the outside, depending on what you want. But I suggest that the first time you go on the wheel that you just practice these steps without any specific intent in mind. Just get them down as much as possible. So for this step, you want your wheel going a little bit slower, because if it goes too fast, you can kind of lose control of it, and this is where a lot of people ruin their projects. Now, I'm leaning over my project more so I can see on the inside a little bit. I have my sponge in my right hand. I'm adding a little bit of water again, and I'm going to put it on the outside at the bottom. My left hand's going to go on the inside of the bottom. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to compress those together slightly, and then I'm going to bring it up slowly. That's called a pull. We want to have at least 3 pulls when we make our project. Don't try to pull your wall in one shot. It'll fall apart. So you can see here that my thumb kind of instinctually sits on my other hand. That's going to help keep my hands together so they don't wobble away. So I'm going to push that sponge towards my left hand fingers, and then as I'm pushing, I'm going to slowly bring my hands up. And you can now see that the pot's getting taller and it's getting thinner. See that I also just soaked out a little bit of the mud that was on the inside and used it to help to re-wet my project. That's only one pull. This project is still really thick at the bottom, so I'm going to do another one. Pushing my left hand and my right hands together and then bringing them up a little bit at a time. If you feel that the walls are getting thin, don't push so hard. If you feel that they're thicker, you can give a little bit more pressure. Again, adding a little bit of water, soaking up that mud on the inside because you don't want too much water to stay down there. Otherwise your project will turn into mud later. I'm going to do another pull. Pushing my hands together. You can see that thickness of clay going up, up, up. Into a cylinder. Now, when you're pulling, it's going to show all your imperfections. You're going to bring all those imperfections to the top of your project, but that's a good thing because then we can trim them off and then you'll have a more even piece. What I'm doing right now is a little piece of mud fell inside here, so I just soaked it up with my sponge and I'm going to put it down in the basin. You can see my cylinder got a little bit pushed out just because my hand bumped it a little bit. As long as you make careful, deliberate motions, you'll be okay on the wheel. And don't get discouraged if you don't have a good wheel day. Everybody has good hair days, bad hair days. Same thing with the wheel. Give yourself a chance. So I'm just cleaning up all that excess stuff. Now real quick, I'm going to trim this. I really suggest that you ask your teacher for help with trimming the first time you do it because it is a bit tricky and it goes fast. What we're going to do is take a needle tool and we're going to push it into the side of the pot to trim this level. To do that, I'm going to hold it really tight in my right hand and put it on top of my left thumb. The goal is to push this through the wall. We're going to imagine the wall's here. Push the needle through the wall until it touches my other finger, not to the point where you're going to hurt yourself, but just until it touches, and it's going to do a full rotation. And once you feel that it does a full rotation, you're going to pick up your hands and you'll have a ring of clay stuck to your hands, and that'll be the trim that you're going to do. So what I'm going to do is put my thumb a little bit lower from the edge, push it into the wall until I can feel it on my other index finger. I can feel it now, and now I take the ring off. See, it goes fast. So you want to make sure that you take your time with that. Don't go quickly, don't push too hard. Give yourself a chance to do it nice and gently. And then I can smooth out this top edge here. So that's pulling and trimming. Now we're going to get to shaping. This is where we start to actually shape this into something.